Hi guys, Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we are going to go step by step and make samosas. And people who have tried our recipe for the samosas tell us that they are better than the restaurant samosas. So I know that's saying a lot, but we are very confident about our samosas. So for the first step, we are going to prepare the filling. Now you can prepare the filling in advance and keep it in the fridge before you're ready to prepare the dough and fry them. So we made our filling the day before and we made the samosas the next day. So for this filling, we need 1 kilogram of ground beef. We need 1 kilogram of chopped potatoes, so it's about four small potatoes, and we are going to need 1 cup each of chopped coriander and frozen green peas. Here we have 1 tablespoon of chopped chili peppers and 1 chopped onion. We also need 2 teaspoons each of grated ginger and grated garlic. Here we have coriander powder, some salt, some cumin powder, and some red chili flakes. We begin by heating a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil and adding in all of the onions and sauteing that for a few minutes. We're going to add in the green chili peppers, the garlic, as well as the ginger, and we just let everything saute for about 3 to 4 minutes. We simply want the onions to sweat out and release a little bit of water. We don't want to brown the onions. And then we are going to add in our 4 dry spices, so the chili peppers, the cumin powder, the coriander powder, and the salt. So mix that all up for a few minutes, and we're going to add in all of the beef. So make sure you break apart the meat if it's all stuck together like this, and then incorporate all of the spices with the ground beef. And we are going to cook this for about 5 to 6 minutes until it's nicely brown like this and all of the water has dried up. Once all of the water dries up, you can add in the frozen green peas. You can also use fresh peas, and give everything a nice mix. Then go ahead and add in all of your chopped potatoes. Now make sure your potatoes are very finely sliced and chopped, and cover everything for 5 minutes and cook on medium heat. So we are simply waiting for the potatoes and the peas to cook through and soften. You can do a simple test with a fork to see if your potatoes have softened like this, and then you can go ahead and turn off the heat, add in the freshly chopped coriander and give it a nice mix. And you can wait for all of this to cool down while we prepare the dough and continue making our samosas. Now the second step in making samosas is preparing the dough, and in my opinion this is the most fun part. So we have 4 cups of all-purpose flour. You can add in some ajwain seeds. This is optional. If you don't have this, just forget about it. Then add in a tablespoon of salt and 1/3 cup of melted ghee or butter. You can also use vegetable oil. This adds a nice crispiness to the crust. So with your hands, go ahead and incorporate all of the ghee and the flour, the salt. And we're going to also use some water to bind the flour together. So by adding a little bit of water at a time, you're going to mix in all of the dough. Don't add too much water at once. So here we are using 4 cups of flour. You can use less depending on how many samosas you want to make. So with your hands, go ahead and knead the dough. We want to have a firm dough, not too soft. So it has to be about this consistency. So we cover our dough for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, we are ready to work and make our samosas. So the first step, you sprinkle some dough on your counter and shape the whole dough mixture into a long log and cut that in half. Using 1/2, we are going to cut it again into another half. So we make 4 equal pieces with the dough. like this. So we have 4 pieces, and in each piece is going to be cut into smaller sections. So we form it into like a baguette shape or a log, and then we cut about 1-inch slices. So like this, it's gonna make about 7 or 8 sections. And we are going to shape each of these small sections into a circular shape with our hands. And each of these circles is going to make 2 samosas. So go ahead and cut all of your dough into these small sections or small circles. Try to make them even so your samosas are all the same size. So we're going to use our hands to make a small circle. It doesn't have to be perfect right now because we are going to use our rolling pin and flatten them out into nice circular shapes. You can also prepare a plate and a cotton or a cloth over it so that we can cover them up so they don't dry up. So with the help of a rolling pin, you're going to take each circular piece that we just cut up and flatten them out into nice circular discs. It doesn't have to be super thin. And then we are going to cut it down the middle into 2 equal halves, and we apply water with our finger on half of it, and then we shape it into a cone. This can take a little bit of practice, but with practice anything is possible, so don't feel stressed out about this. We can do it a few times and you're going to get the hang of it. Then when you shape your cone, just put a little bit of water on the edges. It's going to help the samosa to close up, and then go ahead and fill it up about 2 or 3 spoonfuls. And you want to make sure that there's enough space for the samosa to close up and form a crust. So with the help of your fingers, you're going to fold it over like this so that it's equal, both sides are equal, and you can close it up evenly. Then gently go ahead and seal the ends with your fingers. Make sure it's really well sealed, otherwise it might leak out when you're frying it in the oil. And there's 1 samosa ready. Another way you can do it is by folding it over first and then adding the water with your finger, and then folding it over again to make a nice triangular shaped cone. Make sure you pinch the tip of the samosa to make sure it's sealed, and then you can fill it up with about 2 tablespoons of filling. And then you can seal it in the same way that we did before. Put some water on the edge and then create a small fold with your finger like this. This simply helps both ends be equal and it helps seal the samosa nicely. Gently pat down with your fingers and your samosa is nice and ready to go in the oil. You can also make it in bulk and freeze them in a plastic container, put them in the freezer, and then you can go ahead and put them in a Ziploc bag once they're frozen. So do this with all of your samosas and heat the oil on medium and deep fry them for about 5 to 6 minutes. Make sure you have enough room in your skillet for your samosas. Don't overcrowd them. And if there's a samosa that for any reason didn't seal properly and some of the filling is falling out, just take it out of the oil, seal it with some extra dough or try to pinch it together to close the holes and put it back in. Make sure you flip the samosas so that they cook evenly on all sides. And when they're golden brown and crispy like this, they are ready to take out of the oil. Make sure you have paper towel ready on the plate so that they can soak up the extra oil. And your samosas are ready to be enjoyed and shared with your friends and family. Samosas are that one snack that everyone, regardless of what country they come from, what their tastes are in terms of eating, everyone that I've met from anywhere in the world loves samosas, and I think it's the one snack that brings people together. So coming from a South Asian background, this is the one thing, or I should say one of the things that I'm really proud about. Now, some people may not know what aloo palak is, but most people know what samosa is. So whenever I have to make something, I usually make samosas and bring it to a gathering or a party, and everyone always enjoys them. So with that, I leave and end this video. I hope you stay happy and stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next video.